Alright, what's up guys, welcome to Promotech. Thanks for tuning in. So the Galaxy S27 Ultra is still months away from being official, but the leaks that have surfaced over the last few weeks aren't the usual bigger number, same phone stuff we're used to. We're talking about Samsung quietly removing a camera lens it's kept since 2021, freezing a spec everyone assumed would finally move, and adding a fourth model that changes what Ultra even means. Let's dive right into the video, because this one actually matters. Let's start with the camera, because this is the change that's going to spark the most arguments in the comments. According to leaker Ice Universe, the Galaxy S27 Ultra could drop its dedicated 3x telephoto camera entirely, something Samsung hasn't done since it first added the lens on the S21 Ultra back in 2021. Every single Ultra since then has kept it. Instead, the phone's new 200-megapixel main sensor is expected to handle 3x zoom shots on its own, with Samsung reportedly confident the upgraded main camera can replace the traditional optical lens. On paper, that sounds like Samsung simplifying things. In reality, it would leave the Ultra with a triple camera setup instead of the quad camera layout the S26 Ultra currently uses. And here's the part that should actually concern you if you use zoom a lot. The S26 Ultra currently carries a 3x telephoto, a 5x periscope, and the 200MP main. Dropping the 3x lens leaves just the main sensor and the periscope, and while cropping into that 200MP sensor gets you close in good light, the gap widens noticeably once the lighting drops. So Samsung is betting that most people won't notice the difference between real optical zoom and a crop. Some won't. But if you're someone who actually shoots portraits or crowd shots at that 3x range, this is exactly the kind of change that gets buried in a spec sheet and only shows up once you're already holding the phone. Samsung. Now here's where it gets more interesting, because Samsung isn't applying that camera downgrade evenly across the lineup, and that tells you something about strategy. Leaked specs actually contradict earlier rumors of a deliberate camera downgrade on the new Pro model. The S27 Pro reportedly shares the Ultra's 200MP main sensor, with the real difference coming down to zoom reach, where the Pro tops out around 3.5x optical, while the Ultra steps up to the 5x periscope. So Samsung built an entire new tier specifically to sit one notch below the Ultra, close enough that most casual buyers won't feel like they're missing much. That's not an accident. That's Samsung testing whether people will actually pay the Ultra premium once the gap between Pro and Ultra gets this thin. And with reports that Samsung reworked the Pro's camera setup specifically to create clearer separation from the Ultra rather than making it a true mini Ultra, you can tell this decision is still being negotiated internally even now, months before launch. SamMobile. Moving on to something that's honestly a little frustrating if you've been holding out for it. For 2 straight generations now, people have been asking Samsung to finally push faster RAM and storage on the Ultra, and once again, it looks like that's not happening. Despite months of leaks pointing to UFS 5.0 storage on both the S27 Ultra and the new S27 Pro, a recent report from leaker Lanzik suggests the Ultra will still miss out on faster RAM and storage. Think about that for a second. Samsung is reportedly giving this phone a brand new 2nm chip, a bigger battery, a redesigned camera system, and it's still holding back on the storage speed that would make all of that feel snappier day to day. That's the kind of decision that doesn't show up in a marketing slide, but it's exactly the kind of thing that determines how the phone actually feels 2 years into ownership when you're juggling a dozen apps and the storage is doing more work than the chip. Tom's Guide. But here's the upgrade that actually might be worth the wait, because it fixes something Samsung has ignored for 7 straight years. Samsung has kept the Ultra locked at a 5,000 mAh battery since the Galaxy S20 Ultra, and a tipster named Debayan Roy has released specs suggesting the S27 Ultra could finally push past 6,000 mAh. Other trackers are a little more conservative, landing closer to 5,500 to 7,000 mAh, but even the low end of that range would be the biggest single jump in Ultra battery history. And this isn't just a bigger cell for the sake of a bigger number. The chip itself is rumored to move to a custom Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro built on a 2nm process, down from the 3nm process the current S26 Ultra uses. And that combination of a smaller process node and a genuinely larger battery is the first real sign in years that Samsung is trying to build a phone that isn't quietly managing its power budget the entire time you're using it. TechAdvisor Plus 2. Now, quick pause here, because if you're someone juggling multiple devices and multiple accounts the way I do testing these phones, you already know battery life doesn't mean much if your data and your workflow are scattered across 5 different apps. That's actually why I've been using Walverse for the last few months. It's the same VPN and privacy layer I mentioned a few videos back, and the reason it's stuck around in my setup is boring but important. It just runs in the background across every device without me thinking about it, encrypting your connection whether you're on a new S27 Ultra with a massive battery or an old phone that's barely hanging on. If you're testing leaked builds, downloading APKs early, or just don't want your carrier watching everything you do while you wait for unpacked, it's worth having. Links in the description if you want to check it out. Anyway, back to the phone, because there's one more change that flew under the radar and honestly might matter more long-term than any single spec. Leaks suggest Samsung might bring Flex Magic Pixel privacy display technology, which debuted on the S26 Ultra, to all 4 devices in the S27 lineup. That means the feature that used to be an ultra-exclusive selling point is about to become standard across the entire family. And that lines up with something bigger happening in the industry. Research firm Sigma-Intel has forecast that shipments of phones with this kind of privacy display tech will jump from around 1 million units in 2025 to roughly 21 million in 2026. So this isn't just a Samsung gimmick anymore. It's becoming a real category, and Samsung pushing it across the whole S27 lineup instead of gatekeeping it behind the Ultra tells you they're trying to own that space before competitors catch up. So, when you put all of this together, what you're actually looking at isn't one big headline upgrade. It's Samsung making 4 quiet decisions at the same time. Cutting a camera lens it's protected for 4 years. Holding back storage speed on the phone that can least afford to feel slow. Finally addressing a battery complaint people have had since 2020. And spreading its best display tech across the entire lineup instead of keeping it exclusive. None of these decisions exist in isolation, and none of them have been confirmed by Samsung yet. But if even half of this holds up between now and February, the S27 Ultra is going to be judged less on its spec sheet and more on whether these individual trade-offs actually add up to a better phone in your hand every day. Now, quick thing before you go. If you've made it this far into the video, there's a good chance you're one of the people who actually cares about this stuff beyond the headline number. And that's exactly who this channel is built for. Right now, over 70% of you watching this aren't subscribed yet. And honestly, that's fine. But if you want to break down the moment new S27 leaks drop instead of finding out 3 days later on some clickbait thumbnail, that's what hitting subscribe actually does for you. It's less about the number for me, and more about building a group of people who'd rather understand the trade-off than just chase the spec. So here's what I keep coming back to. Samsung clearly has the pieces to build its most complete Ultra in years, but it's also the first time in a while where almost every major change comes with something you gain and something you quietly lose. A bigger battery, but a smaller camera array. A new Pro model, but a thinner gap justifying the Ultra's price. Better display tech everywhere, but slower storage on the flagship. Which of these trade-offs are you actually willing to live with? And which one would make you skip this generation entirely? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Take care and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.